Okay, so let's discuss chapter 2, which is tools of criminal investigation, interview and interrogation. So let's go now to our first slide. We have the so we called interview. When we say interview, an interview is the questioning of a person who is believed to possess knowledge that is official to the investigator. An interview, the person questioned usually gives his account of an accident under investigated in his own manner of words. So, ini-state po niya, okay? Sinasabi po niya, ninanarrate po niya kung ano po yung nakita niya. Okay? Kapag inilagay ka or in-interview ka, ang tawag sa'yo, witness. Okay? Yan po yun. Kapag ini-interview ka, ang tawag sa'yo, witness. Pero kapag interrogation naman, when we say interrogation, a questioning of a person suspected of having committed an offense or a person who is reluctant to make a full disclosure of information in his possession which is pertinent to the investigation. Kapag naman po interrogation, ibig sabihin nakapag-commit ka ng krimen. Okay? Kapag ini-interrogate ka, ibig sabihin suspect ka. Yan po ang dalawang pagkakaiba ni interview at ni interrogation. Ni interview, you are a witness. When you are a witness, you need to narrate the full information that you have. Kasi nga, ikaw ang nakakita ng krimen. Kapag interrogation naman, okay, suspect ka naman kasi nga po ikaw po ang gumawa ng krimen. Yan po ang pagkakaiba. Pero para po mas mahintindihan po ninyo, ito pa po yun. Okay? 4 major difference of interview and interrogation. Una, sa interview, okay, the questioning of a person who is cooperating in the line of questioning. Sa interview, nakikipag-cooperate yung tinatanong mo. Sa interrogation naman, the person who you are questioning is reluctant to divulge the information. When we say reluctant, ayaw niya. Okay? Ayaw niyang i-divulge, ayaw niyang sabihin yung information na nalalaman niya. Pero kapag sa interview, nakikipag-cooperate po siya. Next, interview. The purpose of interview is to gather information about the crime, which it is where we use the 6 cardinal points. Okay? Ano po ba yung 6 cardinal points? Yan po yung what, when, where, who, why, and how. Yan po yung 6 cardinal points na tinatawag. Ang purpose ng interview, to gather information. Ma'am, ano naman po ang purpose ng interrogation? To extract confession or admission coming from the person being questioned. When we say extract confession, kailangan mong makuha, okay, yung kino-confess or ina-admit ng suspect na yon. That is interrogation. Pangatlo, in interview, the investigator who is asking question is neutral and objective and not accuse the subject of wrongdoing. Kapag interview kasi, yung investigator, hindi niya sinasabi na, ikaw ang gumawa ng krimen, ganito, blah, blah, blah. Hindi po. Neutral siya at the same time objective. Pero sa interrogation, in interrogation, the interrogator is directly accusing the suspect on a particular crime. When we say directly accusing, okay, ikaw ang gumawa ng krimen, ginawa mo yung krimen na ito. Ikaw ang pumatay kay ganito. That is directly accusing. That is under interrogation. Next, in interview, you are using an open-ended question. When we say open-ended question, meaning that the question is requiring an explanation or narration coming from the subject. Okay, open-ended question nga eh. Okay, yun po ang ibig sabihin ng open-ended question. Nire-require na i-explain ni witness, okay, or i-narrate ni witness yung nangyari. Pero kapag sinabi naman po natin interrogation, ang ginagamit po doon close-ended question or direct question. When we say direct question or close-ended question, ikaw ba ang pumatay kay ganito? Okay ba? Ikaw ba ang nang-rape kay ganito? Ganun po ang direct question or close-ended question. Yan po yung apat na pagkakaiba ni interview at ni interrogation. Remember, okay? Sa interview, ang ini-interview, ang tawag doon witness. Sa interrogation, ang ini-interrogate doon suspect. Okay? Yan po, doon pa lang sa dalawa na yon, witness and suspect, magkaiba na po yun. Okay, so yan po yung apat. Next, we have the golden rule in the conduct of interview. Ano ang sabi sa golden rule? Never conduct or let anyone conduct an interview if the interviewer has not gone to the crime scene or without prior visit to the crime scene. Ang ibig pong sabihin yan or ang meaning po yan, huwag ka munang magtanong or never ask somebody on some question if you yourself was not even there at the crime scene or you do not even have the chance to visit the crime scene. Yan po ang golden rule in the conduct of interview. Kung hindi ka naman po nagpunta doon sa crime scene, okay? Or kung wala ka po doon sa pinangyarihan ng krimen, wag na wag ka pong magkakandak ng interview. Ganun po yun. Yan po yung golden rule na tinatawag. Then, we have general stages of interview. Una, we have preliminary interview. When we say preliminary interview, the initial questioning of a subject usually conducted at the crime scene, though it may be carried out also in the subject home or workplace. When we say preliminary interview, pwede po siyang i-conduct doon sa crime scene or kung saan nangyari yung krimen, sa bahay ng witness, okay, pwede po yan. Okay? Diyan po ginaganap ang preliminary interview. Kapag follow-up interview naman, ang sabi naman dito, the second or succeeding questioning to obtain further info as that was missed during the first questioning. Kapag po sinabi nating follow-up interview, tinatawag din po siyang succeeding questioning. Okay, same. Pwede pa rin po yan sa crime scene, sa bahay, or sa bahay ng witness. Okay, para lang po magkaroon ng clarification of data or clarification of information. Then, we have the final interview or last questioning. Dito naman po, act of offering a witness to testify in court during po nung kaso. So, final interview na po yan. Si court na po ang bahala dyan. Pero dapat in-offer yan ni witness. Yan po yung mga general stages po natin in interview. Huwag po ninyong kakalimutan. We have the preliminary interview, follow-up interview, and the final interview. Next, specific stages of interview or tinatawag po siyang POC. POC means preparation, approach, warming up, or cognitive interview. Okay, so preparation, before the interview, the investigator should exhaustively review the facts at the crime scene and all relevant information from the other sources. When we say preparation, basically reviewing the facts of the crime scene, okay, and all relevant information. Ganyan po yung tinatawag nating preparation. Kailangang i-prepare ni investigator yung mga facts doon sa crime scene at the same time yung mga nag-gather ng information. Pangalawa, approach. Investigator carefully select his kind of approach, which may be a single kind, a combination of two, or the application of all technique. When we say approach, kung paano mo i-approach yung witness, dapat friendly ka. Okay, hindi po dapat yung apakasungit mo, apakatapang mo. Okay, kailangan din po 'yan. Kapag friendly yung approach mo, syempre mas ibibigay ni witness or mas inanarrate, i-explain ni witness yung information na kailangan mo. Warming up, this is done by preliminary or exploratory question to clear the atmosphere. Promote a conducive ground for friendship, respect, and trust. When we say warming up, dapat may rapport na kayo. Connection. Okay? Ganun po yan. Sa tinatawag po nating warming up, yung atmosphere ninyong dalawa ni investigator at ni witness. Dapat po, tawag po dito, in connection na kayo para at least hindi po nahihiya si witness or mas kalmado si witness. Then, cognitive interview. Okay? In this stage, the subject is asked to narrate. Okay? And then also, kailangan kapag nagnanarrate si witness without interruption, intervention, or interference. Kasi po, kapag meron ka lang konting intervention kay witness, mawawala po. Mawawala din siya sa tawag po dito, sa pagbigay niya ng information. Kasi nga po, nagkakaroon ka ng intervention. For example, nagnanarrate siya, tapos ano yun? Sa August 13 ba nangyaring krimen? So, mawawala na po siya diyan. So, dapat, when you are going to have an interview, at kapag nagnanarrate na si witness, wag na wag po natin siyang i-interview. Okay? So, that is the specific stages of interview or tinatawag po siyang POW-C. Next, we have the components of interview or yung tinatawag po nating ironic. Okay, I-R-O-N-I-C. When we say identity, prior to the commencement of an interview, the investigator should identify himself to the subject by name, rank, and agency. When we say identity, ito po ay prior or bago magsimula ang interview. Kailangan ni investigator na i-introduce po niya yung sarili niya. Kailangan niyang sabihin yung pangalan niya, anong rank po siya, at kung saang agency po siya nagtatrabaho. That is identity. Pangalawa, rapport. It is good to get the positive feeling of the subject towards the investigator. When we say rapport, the relationship or connection. If there is no connection, there is no communication or pangit ang magiging communication. Also, it is not effective. Okay? Hindi po magiging effective yung pagbibigay ng information ni witness kapag wala po kayong rapport na dalawa. Opening statement naman po indicate why the subject is being contacted. Opening statement, dito ka na mag-i-start or mag-i-initiate kung bakit need ng witness i-narrate ang nangyari or bakit kailangan ni witness na i-narrate or ibigay yung information na nalalaman po niya. Okay, ganun po yon. Then, inquiry time. Narration po pala. Narration, witness should be allowed to tell all he knows with little interruption. When sa narration, for example, sabi dito, pwede naman pong magkaroon ng little interruption. Pero, di ba ma'am, sabi mo kanina hindi pwedeng i-interrupt kapag nagnanarrate si witness. Yes, hindi po talaga. Pero kung little interruption lang naman, pwede naman po. For example, sinabi niya, noong August 23, 2025, exactly 8 p.m. PM or AM po. Ganon po yon. Okay? Little interruption lang po ang kailangan. Okay, next we have the inquiry of time. So when we say inquiry of time for the investigator to ask question to clarify him about the case under investigation. So, inquiry time. So, syempre, kapag may mga inquiries investigator, kailangan din po niyang itanong kay witness. And lastly, conclusion. Okay? Pero ang nakalagay po kasi sa module is complement, but it is conclusion. Close the interview with utmost courtesy and thank you to subject for his cooperation. When we say conclusion, syempre kung meron ka pang mga sasabihin, and then kapag natapos na po yung sasabihin mo, say thanks to the witness. Kasi nga po nakipag-cooperate siya, at the same time binigay niya po yung full support niya and full information sa kinakandak mo na kaso. That is the components of interview, or yung tinatawag po nating ironic. We have the identity, report, opening statement, narration, inquiry time, and conclusion. Next, we have rules in questioning. Okay, so dito naman po, marami tayong mga rules of questioning. Una, we have one question at a time. When we say one question at a time, multiple questions are confusing. Yes, di ba? Kapag marami na yung tinatanong sa'yo, nagkakaroon ka na ng confusion. Pag sunod-sunod yung tanong sa'yo, nagkakaroon na ng confusion. Sa madaling sabi, huwag pagsabay-sabayin ang mga tanong. Avoiding implied answer. Implied answers are useless. Suggesting the answer defeats the purpose of the interrogation. Ibig pong sabihin ng avoiding implied answer, you are the one giving the answer already. Diba? Binibigay mo na yung sagot na dapat siya ang sasagot. Ganun po yung tinatawag nating avoid implied answer. Yung parang ikaw ang ginawa mong krimen is murder. Murder. Sinasabi mo na ang ginawa niyang krimen is murder na. That is implied answer. Then, simplicity of the question. Long, complicated, and legalistic questions are confusing and irritating. Subject may refuse to answer and discuss embarrassment and resentment. Ibig pong sabihin niya na simplicity of the question, simplihan po natin yung pagtatanong and avoid legal terms. Like for example, saan po nangyari ang murder? Alam po ba ni suspect yung tinatawag po nating murder? So, avoid legal terms. Okay? Ganun po yun. Pinatay mo yung tatay mo. Ang kaso mo doon, parricide. Okay? Alam po ba ni witness alam po ba ni suspect what is parricide? So, i-avoid po natin yung mga tinatawag po nating legal questions po or legalistic questions. Saving faces naman, embarrassment situation on the subject because of exaggeration or error in matter of time. Distance and description can be avoided if the interrogator will cooperative with the subject to save his face. The investigator should not ridicule his stupidity, poor judgment, and other deficiencies. When we say saving faces po, huwag mong i-embarrass yung ini-interrogate mo. Nasa konting pagkakamali niya, konting error niya, pinagtatawanan mo. Okay? Hindi po yun pwede. Okay? Tinatawag po yan na saving faces. So, i-avoid po natin yun when it comes to interrogation. Yes and no questions naman po, do not insist on a yes or no answer because it will result to inaccurate answer and prevent a flow of information. Ini-interrogate mo siya, yes, pero iwasan po natin yung pag-question at the same time pag-answer ni suspect ng yes or no. Ikaw ba ang pumatay? Siyempre sasabihin niya no. Sino po ba ang suspect na umamin sa krimen na ginawa niya? Okay, so avoid din po natin yung mga yon. Positive attitude. When we say positive attitude, a positive way of questioning and approach should be employed. A negative method of questioning is inviting a negative answer. Yes. An average man easily detects timidity and lack of confidence on the part of the investigator. Leadership and firmness are respected and command acquainted. So, when it comes to the questioning, dapat po, okay din yung attitude mo. You have a positive attitude. Bakit? Okay? Una, para naman po mahikayat yung suspect na magsabi ng totoo. Kapag po kasi negative questioning, galit ka, okay, sinasaktan mo yung ini-interrogate mo, for sure ayaw po niyang magsabi ng totoo. So, avoid negative questioning. Okay, so sa positive attitude po tayo, yan po yung mga yun. So, that are the rules in questioning. Next, we have also technique in questioning. Kagaya ng sabi ko, one question at a time, avoid implied answer. Same lang po sila. Okay, rules and technique, pareho lang po yan. Then we have techniques for controlling digression, rambling discourses. Okay, when we say rambling, magulo. Then precise questioning, restrict the range of information which the subject can give in an answer. Precise, dapat po sunod-sunod. Okay, magkakapareho. Okay, dapat nasa range lang yung questioning mo para at least maintindihan, masagot ng maayos ni suspect. Shunting, okay, technique of asking question which relates the digression of the original line of questioning. So, ang shunting po, technique po yan in asking question. Para kahit papaano, nandun pa rin po tayo sa original questioning. Kahit iniiba-iba mo yung wordings, pero nandoon pa rin po tayo sa original line of questioning. Skipping by guessing. Questions or intervening details which is an act, okay, parang nagbibigay ka na agad ng conclusion. Okay, binibigyan mo na siya or binibigyan mo na agad si suspect ng conclusion. Okay, so skip po natin yung guessing. Okay, si ganito ba ang pumatay? Ang hula ko si ganito. Okay, so skip po natin yung mga ganon. Okay, pangit po yung mga ganon na questioning. Then, types of interviews. Okay, kung sino yung mga pwedeng i-interview, we have children. Siyempre kapag children, boys, girls, young persons, middle-aged person, older person. When we say children, kailangan mo kapag ang i-interviewin po natin is children, kailangan po nating humingi ng permiso sa kanilang guardian or parents. Okay? Kapag ang i-interviewin or i-interrogate po natin is children. Boys naman, determine perception and intelligence. More on falsehood. Girls, intensely interested in the world as it reacts to her, observant to her young neighbors. So, ganyan po yung mga types of interviewees natin. Young person, not ideal witness. They are ideal preoccupied. Yes, sa mga young person, mga Gen Z, okay? Di po sila ideal as witnesses. Kasi preoccupied sila kung ano-ano yung nasa isip or kung ano-ano yung iniisip. Middle-aged persons, syempre ideal witness sila. They are keenly aware of his fellow beings or they are keenly aware of their surroundings. Older person, very effective witness. Why? Because they are mature. Okay? Yung judgment nila, mature po talaga. Hindi yung parang sa mga young person. Because these are older person na po. Alam nila yung tama at mali. And when they talk, they are mature to talk po. Hindi yung parang paspasurot nga kunada. Okay? So, yan po yung mga types of interviewees natin. Next type of witnesses. Okay, we have the knowing type, disinterested type, drunken type, talkative type, honest witnesses, and so on and so forth. Marami po yung mga susunod sa mga susunod po na slide. When we say knowing type or know-nothing type, these are the reluctant type of witnesses. They are found among the uneducated and of low level of intelligence. Yes, when we say know-nothing type, yan po yung mga illiterate person. Okay, uneducated, a low level of intelligence, mahina ang utak. Okay, so yan po yung mga yan. So, kapag naging witness po sila, syempre reluctant sila kasi hindi po nila masabi yung nararamdaman nila. Hindi po nila ma-express ng maayos yung nararamdaman nila. Kaya ayaw po nilang magsalita. Hindi dahil ayaw talaga nila, pero dahil ganun nga, uneducated, illiterate person. Okay? Disinterested type, ito naman po yung mga hindi cooperative subject. Okay? Yan naman po yung walang interest doon sa kaso na yon, kaya disinterested type. Drunken type, syempre, from the word itself, person intoxicated. When a drunken subject sobered, another interview will be conducted. Kasi kapag nasa influence ka ng alcohol, syempre, sabi natin, nagsasabi ka ng totoo, sabi nila minsan. Pero kapag nasober ka na, okay, at itatanong ulit, sasabihin mo yung sinabi niyang sagot, syempre sasabihin niya, ay, hindi ko maalala. Hindi yan yung nangyari. Hindi yan yung sinagot ko. Okay? So, meron po tayong mga ganyan na mga witnesses. Then, talkative. When we say talkative, chismosa dagitan. Okay? Masalita sila, maboka sila. These are witnesses who are prone to exaggerate. Okay? Adding irrelevant or new matters to their narration. Chismosa nga. Okay? Agkurang, agsobra, or nagdadagdag sila ng mga sinasabi na hindi naman talaga nangyari. Okay? The exaggeration of adding irrelevant or new matters. Then, honest witnesses. These are the truthful. Okay? And cooperative and gives useful information. When we say honest, syempre ibig sabihin sila po yung mga witnesses na nagbibigay talaga ng tamang informasyon or information doon sa investigator. Okay, ganun po yun. Yan naman po yung mga yon. Next, deceitful witness. These are the liar type of witnesses. Kung meron tayong honest, meron din naman po tayong liar or deceitful witnesses. Ayan naman po yung tawag po dito nagsisinungaling. Okay? Iba yung sinasabi nila or iba yung ikinikwento nila. That is a liar type of witnesses. Timid witnesses, yan naman po yung mga shy guys. Okay? Nagsasadot nga agsao, nga kunada. Dahil nga mahiyain siya, ayaw na niyang magsalita. Ganun po yun. Then, we have the boasting, egoistic, or egocentric witnesses. They will be good witnesses because of their ability of expressing their accounts about the commission of the crime. The investigator must be patient in dealing with them so as not to hit or override their ego or self-pride. Yes, when we say boasting, egoistic, dagita-dagijay, anong tawag po dito sa Tagalog? Hindi siya matapang. Nalastog nga kunada. Boasting, egoistic. So, kailangan si investigator, patient lang siya. Siyempre, di ba? No nalastog ka kat, nagadupay ti palpalastog mo bago mo masabi yung kailangan na information ni investigator. So, dapat si investigator, patient lamang po siya. Refusal to talk witnesses. These are the most difficult kind of witness to deal with. Why? Kasi nga po, they refuse to talk. Okay? Ayaw po nilang magsalita. Kahit anong sabihin mo, ayaw po nilang magsalita. So, tinatawag po silang refusal to talk witnesses or they are the most difficult kind of witnesses. Then, we have direct and indirect questions. Okay, so when we say indirect and indirect questions, ito naman po yung mga type. Logical approach, emotional approach, direct question, indirect question, cognitive interview. Okay, ganun po yung mga yon. When we say logical approach, based on reason, use logic to determine why the person refuses to cooperate and to explain the benefits of cooperating. Explain the problems that results when people who know about a crime do not cooperate. When we say logic approach, iniisip na niya, nagbe-base na siya doon sa reason. gumagamit na agad siya ng tinatawag nating logic. Okay? Para po malaman niya kung bakit yung tao na yon nire-refuse or ayaw niyang maki-operate or magsalita. Okay, that is logical approach. When we say emotional approach, syempre ginagamit naman po niya yung emotions niya. Like hate, anger, greed, revenge, pride, and jealousy. You can increase this emotion or simply acknowledge them by explaining to the person that anyone else in the same situation would respond the same way. Yes, kapag yung witness mo is masyadong emotional, okay, kailangan mo siyang sabayan. Kailangan mo na siguro kapag ibang tao yung nandyan sa kalagayan mo, ganyan din po yung i-respond or isasagot niya or masasagot niya. Okay? Emotional approach naman yun. When we say direct question, to the point, okay? Allowing little possibility of misinterpretation, use this type that come right to the point. Direct to the point po siya. Kaya nga direct question eh. Okay? Kapag direct question yung tinanong, direct answer din po yung ibibigay niya. Indirect question, ayan po, marami pa pong pasikot-sikot yan. Okay? Bit disguise and could elicit a variety of answer. Use this type of questioning to those that skirt the basic question. Okay? So, kapag ginamit mo to, syempre, if you are the investigator, gumamit ka muna ng iba't ibang uri ng wordings. Okay? Para at least kahit papaano, then is ma-calm down po natin yung mga witness natin. Cognitive interview naman, a method that calls for using secluded. Okay? Free from distraction for the interview. Kailangan mong humanap ng secluded area. Okay, para at least doon mo ma-interview, ma-interrogate yung witness or suspect. Then, we have evaluation. When we say evaluation, yan yung titignan mo yung physical manner ng subject or suspect. We have the physical mannerism, frankness, emotional state, and content of statement. When we say physical mannerism, nervousness, evasive facial expression, perspiration, and similar signs. Yan yung mga titignan mo when it comes to interview and interrogation. Yung physical mannerism nila. Okay? Or physical manner of subject. So, yun po yung tinatawag nating physical mannerism. Then, we have the frankness. When we say frankness, truthfulness, nagpapakatotoo ka. Okay? Kapag tinanong ka, direct question, sasagutin mo agad siya ng direct answer din. Emotional state, syempre, reaction to question. Tinitignan din po yan. Okay, for example, ikaw ba ang pumatay? So, titignan yung facial expression mo. Okay? Kasi kapag nagulat ka or hindi man lang gumalaw kahit yung mata mo, ibig sabihin there is a possibility na ikaw nga ang gumawa ng krimen. Content of statement, discrepancies, and misinterpretation. Yes. Minsan po, when it comes to writing na, nag-iiba na po. Nadadagdagan, minsan nababawasan na po yung mga statement. Nagkakaroon ng discrepancies. When we say discrepancies, pagbabawas, misinterpretation, syempre, iba na yung pagkaka-interpret mo when it comes to writing na. Iba din yung pagkaka-interpret mo when it comes verbally. Okay, ganun po yun. Then, common reasons why witnesses refuse to talk and testify. Una po dyan, yung tinatawag nating fear of reprisal. Ito po, wala pong nakalagay na definition, but okay, I'm the one who will give the definition. Okay? Or kung ano po ba yung tinatawag nating fear of reprisal. When we say reprisal, okay, means revenge. Okay, revenge or vengeance coming from the criminal. 'Di ba? Ang mindset kasi ng isang tao kapag magsasalita or magbibigay siya ng statement niya, there might be a big probability that the criminal will go back to him or her and might initiate any kind of criminal act against him or to her family. Ganun po yun. Yun po yung fear of reprisal. Kaya po natatakot si witness na magsalita or mag-testify. Okay? Kasi Ang iniisip po niya yung sarili niya, at the same time yung family po niya. Okay, so yan po yung mga common reason. Pangalawa, great inconvenience. When we say great inconvenience, meaning nakakaistorbo sa atin or sa trabaho natin or to our daily lives. Okay, great inconvenience. Next, hatred against the police. When we say hatred against the police, galit sa police, also meron po tayong tinatawag na public apathy. When we say public apathy, ibig sabihin loss of trust against the police. That's why ayaw po nating magsalita kapag sila po ang investigador. Kasi nga po, nawawala yung trust natin. Bakit nawawala? Dahil po sa mga napapanood natin na ginagawa ng ibang kapulisan. Okay? Nawawala yung trust natin sa kanila. Minsan nga, 'di ba, sabi natin sa mga ibang napapanood natin na ang mga police officer, minsan sila ang promoprotekta at the same time sila ang gumagawa ng krimen. Dahil sa mga napapanood na yon, okay, that's why nagkakaroon tayo ng public apathy or the loss of trust against the police. Okay, then when next we have the so we called public avoidance. When we say, sorry po. Next is bias of the witness. When we say bias of the witness, ibig sabihin nito, you are a friend. Okay? Yung witness, kaibigan niya, or relative niya yung suspect. That's why you are biased when it comes to giving a statement. Okay? Ganon po yun, bias of the witness. Nagiging bias yung witness kasi nga kaibigan niya yung suspect or at the same time, relative niya yung suspect. Yan po ang ibig sabihin ng bias of the witness. Ganon po yun. Then, we have public avoidance, syempre, or publicity avoidance. When we say publicity avoidance, ayaw mo na naipapublic yung mga ginagawa mo or maipublic man siya or maipublic man po siya, okay, you have the means na ipatanggal po. So, publicity avoidance. Family restriction, when we say family restriction po, ibig sabihin po niyan, okay, ayaw po ng tatay mo or family mo na maging witness ka. That is family restriction na tinatawag. Okay, nire-restrict ka ng sarili mong pamilya para maging witness. Why? Okay, para din po sa kapakanan mo. Okay, kagaya ng sabi natin kanina on the fear of reprisal, okay? Syempre ayaw po nilang mapahamak ka. That's why yung family mo na ang nagre-restrict sa'yo para po maging witness. Ganon po yan. Then we have bigotry. And lastly, we have the cultish indoctrination. When we say cultish indoctrination, may mga organization po talaga na pinagbabawalan yung mga empleyado or miyembro nilang maging witness. That is cultish indoctrination. When we say cultish indoctrination, nasa organization po yan. At kapag nasa organization ka, miyembro ka or empleyado ka ng organization na yon, kinukuha ka ng mga pulis at as witness, hindi ka po pinapayagan ng organization mo or ayaw ng organization mo na payagan ka. Why? Kasi po makakasira po yan sa mukha ng organization kung nasan ka or kung saan ka po miyembro. Okay, yan po ang ibig sabihin po niyan. Okay, so yan po yung mga common reasons why witnesses refuse to talk and testify. Next, let's go now to interrogation. Okay? Sabi natin, ang interrogation is a questioning of a person suspected or having committed an offense. Remember, okay, dalawa po yan. We have the interview and interrogation. Okay, sa interview, ang ini-interview mo doon, ang tawag witness. Sa interrogation, ang ini-interrogate mo doon, ang tawag suspect. Okay? So, kagaya ng sabi ko, interrogation is a questioning of a person suspected of having committed an offense or a person who is reluctant to make a full disclosure of information in his possession which is pertinent to the investigation. That is interrogation. If the person suspected to committed an crime is reluctant to give a full information or reluctant to disclose a full information. Okay? Primary objectives. We have primary objectives here. Una, to ascertain the probability that the suspect is or is not the offender. Yes. Ano ba yung primary objective ni interrogator? Kailangan niyang malaman kung yung ini-interrogate niya is siya ba talaga yung suspect, okay, or offender ng krimen na yon. Pangalawa, to eliminate the innocent by eliciting information, evidence, or behavior symptoms that indicates innocent. So si interrogator, kailangan din po niyang malaman, kailangan din po niyang tignan kung yung ini-interrogate niya is yung inosenteng tao. 'Di ba sabi nga natin, okay, maraming naikukulong na inosente. Okay, so dapat as an interrogator, kailangan mo po yung tignan. Pangatlo, to obtain a confession from the guilty and or information from him or her about the involvement of the other person. So you need to obtain a confession. When we say confession, kailangang nag-confess siya. Ibig sabihin, inaamin niya, kino-confess siya or kino-confess niya na ako ang pumatay kay Juan de la Cruz. Okay? Kailangan mong makakuha ng confession. Yun po yun. Later on, mapapag-usapan natin what is the difference between confession and admission. Okay? Kasi kapag iisipin mo confession, admission, parang pareho lang. 'Di ba? Pero later on po malalaman niyo po kung ano po ang pagkakaiba nun. Then, to learn the identity of the accomplices. Okay? Iba po yung principal, iba yung accomplice po. Okay? When we say accomplice, kasama niya. Next, to develop additional leads for the investigation. Okay? Then next, to discover the details of any crime in which suspect may participated. And lastly, to learn the existence and location of physical evidence, such as document or weapons. Yes, yan po yung mga kailangan mong, or yan yung mga primary objectives mo when it comes to interrogation. Yan yung mga kailangan mong malaman, na kailangang maibigay ng suspect. Okay? Kailangan mong malaman kung nasaan or kung saang location niya itinago, itinapon yung mga physical evidences such as documents and weapons. Ganun po yun. Then, we have the setting of the interrogation. Paano ba or anong itsura ba, okay, ng interrogation room? Una, private room without ornaments or distraction. Ibig sabihin, plain. Okay, white in plain, black in plain. Ibig sabihin, upuan lamang or table lamang ang nandoon. Wala na pong vase, flowers, etc. etc. Okay, wala pong ganon. Number 2, furniture should consist a table and only enough chair for the suspect and the interrogators. When we say enough, okay, ibig sabihin 1 table, 2 chair, that is enough. Then, interrogator's chair should be slightly higher than the suspect. Yes, dapat mas mataas ang upuan ng interrogator kaysa sa suspect. Bakit? Minsan po, okay, doon po ipinapakita ni interrogator na mas mataas siya kaysa doon sa suspect. Okay, mas may nalalaman siya kaysa doon sa suspect. Then, no windows in the room. Ibig sabihin, okay, close po talaga yon. Walang windows, walang bintana. Suspect should sit with his back at the door. Okay, so dapat yung likuran ng suspect nandoon po sa may pintuan. And also dapat one-way mirror disguised as ordinary mirror. Yes. I know, nakakita na po kayo ng mga interrogation room. So, ganun po dapat ang itsura niya. Okay? Dapat may one-way mirror. Hindi kanya nakikita na nandoon, no. Kapag one-way mirror po, baliktad kasi kapag sa interrogation. Kapag nasa loob ka ng interrogation room, dapat hindi mo nakikita yung nasa labas. Okay, ganun po sa interrogation. Kapag kasi sa bahay mo ilalagay ang one-way mirror, okay, yung mga nasa loob ng bahay, nakikita nila kung ano yung nasa labas. Pero yung mga nasa labas sa tao, hindi nila nakikita yung nasa loob. That is one-way mirror. Okay? Yung sa interrogation, baliktad lang po. Then, stages of interrogation. Okay? We have the Philippine jurisprudence dictates that the correct procedure to be followed by the police officers in making arrests and conducting custodial interrogation. Una, identify himself. Pangalawa, inform the reason for the arrest and show the warrant of arrest if there is any to the suspect. Pangatlo, inform the suspect rights and or yung tinatawag po nating Miranda rights. Yan po yung stages of interrogation or making an arrest. Sasabihin mo kapag i-arrest mo yung tao, I am PO2, PO3, blah blah blah. Tapos i-inform mo kung bakit mo siya inaaresto. Kapag na-inform mo, what is the reason, then kailangan mong i-inform yung suspect right or yung tinatawag nating Miranda rights. Okay? Yun po yun. Then, we have this one, initial stage, focusing stage, and concluding stage. Yan po yung mga stages. Pero yung nandun po kasi, yung sa naunang slide, yun po yung mga ginagawa when making an arrest. Okay? Initial stage or the introductory part. Clearly state the reason for the suspect presence. Kailangan mong sabihin yung rason kung bakit mo siya pinatawag, kung bakit siya nandoon. And establish the crime about which he or she is to be questioned. The name of the victim, time, and place of the crime. Ganun po yun. Remember, nasa interrogation po tayo. Wala na po tayo sa interview. Okay, so you need to establish the crime. Kailangan mong malaman, okay, kung ano yung pangalan ng biktima o nung pinatay niya, saan at anong oras nangyari yung krimen. Next, focusing stage or the main body. Concern with the activity and whereabouts of the suspect about the time of the crime. Diba? Yan naman yung palaging tinatanong ng mga interrogator natin eh. Nasan ka nung oras at araw na to? Okay? Pero syempre, kung magaling kang suspect, nagbibigay ka ng alibay mo. Diba? Questions whether the suspect had ever been at the scene or in contact with the victim and under what circumstances. Syempre, tatanong mo din, kilala mo ba yung biktima? Okay? Nakasalamuha mo na ba yung biktima? So, ganun po when it comes to interrogation. Concluding stage or the closing part, in case of confession, take a formal statement of the suspect. Ask the classic concluding question, such as, is there anything else you wish to about or any correction you wish to make in your story? Okay, ganun po yun. Kapag nagkaroon ng confession, ganyan po ang kailangan nyong sabihin sa kanya or itanong po sa kanya. So yan po yung tatlong stages po natin. The initial or introductory part, the focusing or the main body, and the concluding or the closing part. So tatlo po yan na stages po natin. Then, techniques or method in conducting interrogation. So, marami po ito. I think meron po akong tatlong slides dito, if I am not mistaken. Yung nasa module po ninyo, iilan lang po yun, dinagdagan ko na lang po. Okay, so let's talk about the techniques, methods in conducting interrogation. So, una, emotional appeal. Yung mga last slide natin, napag-usapan po natin yan. Pero let's Ulitin po natin. Emotional appeal, investigator combines his skills as an actor and psychologist. Yes, di ba? Emotional. Kapag emotional yung ini-interrogate mo, dapat yung investigator magaling din umakting. Okay? So, dapat si investigator para din po siyang psychologist. Nababasa niya yung iniisip nung ini-interrogate niya. Sympathetic approach. The investigator preliminary questions must dig deep to his past trouble, okay, or flights, unfortunate events in the suspect life, and offer or help, kindness and friendliness may win his cooperation. Yes, if you are an interrogator, dapat sympathetic ka, okay, or nagkakaroon ka ng simpatya doon sa ini-interrogate mo. Why? Para at least, okay, mag-cooperate yung ini-interrogate mo or si suspect. Kapag po nagkaroon na siya ng cooperation sa'yo, sasabihin na po niya yung mga gusto mong or masasagot na po niya yung mga tanong mo. Then, friendliness, a friendly approach coupled with a posture of sincerity. Okay? So, next po tayo, tricks and bluff, the pretense of solid evidence against the accused. The investigator will bluff the suspect that if he will not confess, there is enough evidence to send him to jail. Yes, kailangan mo po yung gamitin as an interrogator. Okay? Trick and bluff. I-trick mo. Okay? Paniwalain mo yung ini-interrogate mo or si suspect na kapag ka hindi siya nag-confess, meron ka or you have an enough evidence, okay, para pumakulong siya. Next, the weakest link among the suspect, careful selection of who among them is the weakest link, where the interrogation will begin. By tricks and bluff, this weakest link will be told that his companions had already confessed. Yes. For example, tatlo sila. Piliin mo sa tatlo kung sino yung pinaka-weakest. Okay? Dahil yung weakest na yon na tao, siya yung gamitin mo doon sa dalawa na hindi pa umaamin. Okay? Tinatawag yung the weakest link. Then, drama. The weakest link may use to fake pain and agony by ordering him to shout. Okay, accompanied by banging a chair onto the wall to make appear that a commotion is going on. Yes, okay, gamitin mo din yan. Palabasin ninyo na sinasaktan ninyo yung weakest link na yon. Okay, ganun po yon. Para dun sa kabilang interrogation room, marinig nung dalawang nandoon. Na mag-iisip sila, o ba, sinasaktan na, kaya siguro nagsalita. Ganun po yon. So the other suspect in the adjacent or separate room must hear the drama before telling them that their partner had confessed. Ganon po yun. Then, feigning contact with family members. Yes, the suspect could be tricked. Diba? Gamitin mo yung family members niya, yung family members nila para mag-confess, magsabi siya. Okay? Ma-divulge niya yung information na gusto mo. Ganon po yun. Next, line up the complainant, witnesses, or victim is requested to point positively. When we say line up, so nasa isang room si witness, nandun naman sa isang room, pero dun sa gitna nila, may window po yun, one-way mirror. So si witness, nakikita niya, nakahilera yung mga suspect. Pero yung mga suspect, hindi po nila nakikita yung witness. So, directly, ipo-point ni witness kung sino yung gumawa ng krimen na yon. That is line up na sinasabi. Okay, ganun po yon. Then, revise line up. The suspect is placed among other person in a line up and he is identified by the several complainant and witnesses. So, ganun din po. Okay? Revise lang. Ni-reverse lang. Okay? Yung ibang kasama ni suspect, hindi sila suspect, pangkaraniwang tao sila. Okay? So, kapag pinoint ni witness yung suspect yung gumawa ng krimen, the other, okay na po yun. Ang problema kung ang pinoint ni witness is a citizen. Okay? Doon po tayo nagkakaproblema. Ibig sabihin, si witness ang may problema po doon. Then, stern approach. the investigator displays a stern personality towards the subject. Okay? So si investigator, galit, hindi siya pala kaibigan. Okay? Stern approach, ganun po yun. Kagaya ng sabi natin, kailangan mong gumamit ng iba't ibang approach, iba't ibang emotion. Okay? Para makuha mo yung cooperation nung suspect. Next, pretense or physical evidence. It is the pretense or laboratory or scientific findings pointing to the subject. So, yung evidence na po ang magtutok kung sino po talaga yung suspect. Then, jolting in the questioning process, the investigator, okay, magkakaroon siya or magsasabi siya ng mga statement, okay, at titignan niya yung physical appearance kapag nag-jolt yung suspect, okay, ibig sabihin siya ang gumawa ng krimen. Okay? Kahit maliit na jolting lang po yan. Okay? As long as na-break yung nerves ng suspect na yun, magsasabi at magsasabi siya. Okay? Kasi kapag nag-jolt na siya, kapag na-break na yung wall na yun, that's the time na mararamdaman na niyang or mararamdaman na po niya yung tinatawag nating nervousness. Kapag naramdaman po niya yun, that's the time na magko-confess na po siya. Then, we have indifference. When we say indifference, the investigator will discuss and debate about the strong evidence of the case that will result to a conviction of a maximum penalty. Their aim is to induce the suspect to confess by conditioning his mind that he is finally cornered. Yes. Diba? Si investigator ganun naman. Sasabihin na niya lahat na ganito, bla bla bla. Para maisip ni suspect na wala na siyang mapupuntahan na iba. Cornered na siya. Okay? Hindi na siya makakalusot. Ganun po yun. Then, feigning protection and consideration. The investigator or interrogator asks series of questions appearing to be formalities, with the impression that he knows the answer, that these questions are asked as matters of consideration of the right, protection, and advantage of the suspect. Okay? Kahit naman po kailangan mong i-interrogate yung suspect, kailangan pa rin po nila ng protection and consideration. Opportunity to lie. The suspect is given all the opportunity to lie. Then the suspect is questioned about his activities or prior activities during and after the commission of the crime. The suspect will be enmeshed to contradictions when the investigator capitalized to get the truth out from the suspect. Yes, di ba? If you are the suspect, nasa sayo lahat, okay, ng opportunity para magsinungaling sa kahit anong tanong ni investigator or ni interrogator. Matt and Jeff or sweet and sour or the good guy and the bad guy. Di ba? Meron nga tayong tinatawag na good and bad cop. Okay? So, nangyayari din po yan. Even if you are a parent, meron din po yan. Merong bad cop and good cop. Okay? Ganon din po yan when it comes to interview and interrogation. Meron din po yan. Meron yung isang pulis, yan siya si good guy. Okay, mabait siya doon sa suspect. Yung isa naman, siya naman si bad guy, tinatakot. Okay, gumagamit ng violence para, okay, makakuha siya ng information. That is Matt and Jeff or that's how we call the good and the bad guy. Then, rationalization. It is the use of reasons that is acceptable to the subject that led to the commission of the crime. Thus, it may be said that sometimes killing is necessity rather than purpose or design. Robbery may be a necessity to feed a starving family. Yes, ipasok mo sa kukote ng suspect na pwede naman kayong or pwede nyo namang patayin siya. Okay? Ano pa ba yung magiging purpose niya? Okay? Sa mundo na to, kung yun naman yung ginawa niyang krimen. Rationalization, iparealize niyo po sa kanya yung ginawa niyang krimen. Projection, it is the process of putting the blame onto other person, not alone to the suspect. So you are not putting the blame to the suspect, you are putting the blame to the other person. Okay? Para kunin yung simpatsya ng suspect. Ganun po yun. Minimization, it is the act of minimizing the culpability of the suspect. The investigator or interrogator convinces the suspect that a confession will reduce the offense and penalty. Yes, kahit naman po you have the attorney, hindi si interrogator, si investigator, sasabihin din po nila yan. Okay? Mag-confess ka na, magsabi ka na ng totoo, marireduce pa yung penalty mo. Marireduce pa yung offense na ibibigay sa'yo. Okay? Or sabihin natin mag-plea ka na ng guilty. Okay? I-reduce pa yan ni judge. Ganun po yun. Then, avoidance to direct eye-to-eye contact. Okay? Yes. Avoid nyo po ang magkaroon ng eye-to-eye contact. Kasi kung magaling siya as a suspect, dapat mas magaling kayo as an interviewer, interrogator. Kasi kapag nagkaroon kayo ng eye-to-eye contact, okay, kagaya ng sabi natin, hindi po nagsisinungaling yung emotions na nanggagaling sa mata po natin. So, dapat, okay, iwasan po natin yon para po maiwasan natin yung tinatawag nating remorse or repentations po. Then, techniques, methods in conducting interrogation. So, removing the ethnic or cultural barrier. If the suspect is an Ilocano, he should be interrogated by an Ilocano investigator. Yes. Okay? Ay kung yung suspect mo, Ilocano, ang naging investigator mo, ang language niya English, okay? Nagkaintindihan pa ba sila? Wala na. Nagkakaroon na tayo ng tinatawag nating cultural barrier. Mas mahirap na po yun. Mas mahirap na po silang magkaintindihan. Okay? So, tanggalin po natin yon. Remove the ethnic or cultural barrier. Searching for the soft spot. In every man's heart, there is always the softest spot. Once discovered, there must be a face-to-face meeting with that special person. Yes. Sa isang tao po, meron at meron po yung kahinaan. Okay? Una, ang kahinaan niyan, family or asawa. Okay? Or yung special person po na yun. At yun po ang gamitin ninyo para po magsabi siya ng totoo or ng information na kailangan po ninyo. Okay? Also, this technique is not only used during interrogation. Ginagamit din po yung technique na yan sa crisis management or during hostage situation. Diba? Pinapatawag nila yung family nung ng hostage or nung hostage taker. Okay? So, ganyan po. Kung nalaman mo kung sino yon, kailangan mo pong ipa-face to face sa kanya para magkaroon sila or yung soft spot or special person na yon, siya na po yung magsabi doon sa suspect na umamin na. Ganon po yun. Searching for the soft spot. Next, investigation environment. So we have, I think, 4. We have privacy, simplicity, seating arrangement, and technical aids. When we say privacy, this can be achieved by only one door. Siyempre, sa interrogation po ito or investigation. Absence of windows or view, soundproof, telephone without a bell. Okay, privacy po yan. Sa investigation room or investigation environment or interrogation environment, kailangan po ng privacy. Hindi po kailangan ng public. Okay? Hindi po yun kailangan. Next, simplicity. Okay? When we say simplicity, distraction should be kept to its minimum. Too many objects may distract the attention of the subject. This is accomplished by medium-sized room, bare walls, no glaring lights, minimum furnitures. Okay, simplicity. Simplihan natin yung interrogation or interview room natin. Seating arrangement. The interrogator and subject must be seated without any intervening furnitures. Then, the technical aids, the interrogator may allow the person to be presented, okay, and will have the opportunity to observe the perspective. So, technical aids, kailangan nandoon or inaalaw ni interrogator yung ibang tao para po makita nila yung nangyayari. Technical aids po yun. Yeah, this one. Okay? The confession versus admission. Kung ano po yung pagkakaiba ni confession at the same time ni admission. When we say confession, a declaration made at any time by a person voluntarily and without compulsion or inducement, is stating or acknowledging that he had committed or participated in the commission of the crime. When we say confession, nag-confess ka. Sinabi mo sa investigator na ikaw yung nagnakaw ng pera sa loob ng opisina ni Juan de la Cruz, acknowledging all liability. Yun po yun. Okay, so yun po yung tinatawag nating confession. You confess. Okay, sinabi mo na ikaw ang nagnakaw ng pera sa loob ng opisina ni Juan de la Cruz. That is acknowledging all the liability. When we say admission, statement of fact by the accused which do not directly involve an acknowledgement of the guilt of the accused or of criminal intent to commit the offense with which he is charged. A statement made by a person that acknowledges some facts related to a case but do not admit full guilt. Ang ibig naman pong sabihin ng admission, para po mas maintindihan ninyo, you admitted. For example, sinabi mo na pumunta ka sa opisina ni Juan de la Cruz pero hindi ikaw yung nagnakaw. Kaya ang tawag po doon is indirect acknowledgement of guilt. Sinabi mo na nagpunta ka doon sa opisina ni Juan de la Cruz pero hindi ikaw ang nagnakaw ng pera. Okay? That is indirect acknowledgement of guilt kasi you are acknowledging that you were present in the crime scene but you were not the one who committed the crime. That is admission. Inadmit mo lang na oo, nagpunta ako sa opisina ni Juan de la Cruz pero hindi ako ang nagnakaw ng pera. That is admission. Kapag confession, nag-confess ka. Voluntarily mo yun ginawa. Sinabi mo na nagpunta ka sa opisina ni Juan de la Cruz at ako ang kumuha ng pera. That is the difference between confession and admission. Yan po ang pagkakaiba po nilang dalawa. Okay? In admission, you are acknowledging a certain facts, not in general. Ang admission po kasi, you are acknowledging all the liability. Ina-acknowledge mo. Kapag confession, certain facts lang. Okay? Certain facts lang. Sinabi mo lang na, oo, pumasok ka, pero hindi ikaw ang nagnakaw. That is certain facts. Pero kapag confession, kapag inamin mo na, oo, pumasok ka, ako ang nagnakaw, tinatanggap mo, ina-acknowledge mo lahat ng liability. Kasi nga, ikaw nga ang gumawa ng krimen. Yan po ang pagkakaiba ni confession at ni admission. Okay? Next, requisites of a valid confession. Okay, so valid confession, it must be in writing. It can be oral when done in open court. Must be in the presence of a counsel. It must be free from any threats or coercion. In short, must be voluntary. Yes. Remember, sabi ko kanina sa confession, voluntarily na nag-confess siya. Next, must be under oath. Next, signed by the accused. Then we have the statement. Statement, a legal narrative description or events related to a crime. Statement, inanarrate mo lang po yung nangyari or related doon sa krimen na yon. Disposition, it is the testimony of a witness reduced to writing under oath or affirmation before a person empowered to administer oath in answer to interrogates or question and interrogatories submitted by the parties. Ordinarily, it is an attorney who gets disposition. When we say disposition, statement po yan ni witness, pero na-reduce na siya. When we say na-reduce, nabawasan, okay, na-shorten. Okay, statement na po. No, hindi na po yan, sorry, disposition na po yun, hindi na po yan statement. Ang statement po kasi, you are narrating one by one kung ano ang nangyari. Sa oras na ito, ganito ang ginawa ko. Sa oras na ganito, ganito ang ginawa ko. Ganun po yun. Okay? And also in disposition, effect, or unsigned statement, not under oath statement, effect, or statement of affidavit, not in form. Pero kapag si statement, kailangan po yan in writing. Okay? Ganun po yung pagkakaiba po nung dalawa.